Jesus Firm Foundation. Very tiny keyboard. Again, we've arranged this for teams with one keyboardist and two keyboardists. I'll explain the difference in a moment. There are 3.5 parts on this. Part 1 you'll recognize as the signature piano stuff. That only goes as far as you need it to go. Also, the pedal is decoupled from that, which will allow you to hold the pads. So this middle section is pads, which runs from lowest key to there. You'll notice there's an organ in there. That organ adds here at C5. And you really only ever play that C, which allows you to do for the choruses. Just to kind of add that drone organ in there. And then the third element is a sliced string patch here. For that, make sure 5. I don't know how that happened, but we're at 79, I think, on this one. So make sure that the tempo is set anywhere it wants to set itself, apparently. 79 was what we wanted this one to be at, unless the team decides to do it at a different tempo, of course. So, walking us through the map for this, I had one other note. Oh yeah, on the string slicer, you'll notice that it has a long release time. That allows us to let it fade out gradually when we lift the key weight. The one thing to know about that is if you ever have to re-trigger this for tempo, it won't allow you to re-trigger the time until it has completely tailed out. It's just going to keep syncing up with the same grid that it's on until it completely silences itself, and then it'll allow you to reset. So if you get into a situation where you need to re-trigger, you might drop it out for a phrase or half of a verse or chorus or whatever. But we are going to pull this out at a particular point in the song, so if things drift, that'll give us a chance to reset it. So to start the song off, we're just going to come in with this C5 here, and then we're going to add the piano thing on top of it. How firm a foundation, you saints of the Lord. Just 2 note pads as appropriate for the verse. In his excellent word. What more can he say than to you he has said? To you who for refuge to Jesus have fled. Anyway, that's verse 1, and then we're into verse 2, which is the same thing, just pads here. And you're coming off of that into the chorus, so upheld by his merciful almighty hand. Now we're going to come up here to this particular voicing so that we get that organ in, and we're going to add left hand. Notice that I'm making that G, what would that be, a G add 4, in order to keep the C in there, so... Depending on which time you're going through the chorus, watch the chords kind of shift around a little bit. Coming out of it, it's a little tricky to be able to hold this and get back to the piano lick, so what I suggest is dropping the left hand in favor of this, because the bass will be covering that anyway. So to demonstrate that, here's the last line of the chorus. Jesus, firm foundation. As soon as you can hold this with the pedal, you can get up there with your right hand. Okay, so then we do the chorus, we do that turn. Now out of that chorus, so we've been doing this. I'm sorry. So coming into the verse out of the chorus, we're going to go back to what we were doing for the first verse, but we're going to add the key weight. And that's going to stay in through the next chorus. Then coming out of that, we're going to remove the key weight. I'm looking at my notes here. We're going to condense to a C5 chord here. So I'll just play the end of that chorus so you can hear how that sounds. Because we're going to condense to that and remove the key weight. Like that. And then into the bridge. Oh, sorry, that's not right. Age to age he stands, faithful to the end. So we're going to stay in this range. Will fade away, but he will remain. Until remain. Remain, we can get up there and we can add that, and then we will also add the key weight back in at that point. So we've been doing this. Age to age he stands, faithful to the end. All will fade away, but he will remain. He will remain. Now we got our key weight back in, and we'll get to the end of the song. There's a couple of tags. Jesus from foundation. Jesus from something like that. The notes, we'll have that all together for you, but I wanted to be able to demonstrate the part. For the team with two keyboardists, we're going to have one keyboardist manage that and the piano part so that you won't have to do all the crazy flipping over. And then I'm going to build a separate perform that has, instead of just the organ on that C, I'm going to build a pad layer and a pad plus organ layer so that you can layer those in and out and have a little more freedom.